Hello, everyone. It's Christine Walker here, and it is a Saturday morning. If you are listening to this on a podcast, I don't usually just hop on Saturday morning and record podcast. I typically spend time with my family, but my son said the funniest thing this morning. Actually prompted me on several trains of thought that then led me to just be eager to sit down, record this, and get it to you. So if you're ever wondering what I look like when I roll out of bed and just run a brush through my hair and hop in front of the camera, head over to the YouTube channel and you will find out what that experience looks like. For me, I got my blue light glasses on this morning, gonna be watching a lot of football and basketball, trying to be able to sleep tonight despite all the blue light. But come check me out on YouTube if you're curious what that's like in my day. So what did my son say this morning that was so hysterical and just prompted me down this train of thought? He said, risk it for the biscuits. And I was like, where in the world did you get that? Now, of course, it rhymed. It was so hysterical how he said it. I keep saying it all morning. And I have no clue still where they came from. So if any of you guys know, let me know in the comments or in the reviews. And I'd love to know where this actually came from. But it really got me thinking, risk it for the biscuits. It's the time of year. It's getting close to the end of the year. And what am I supposed to do moving forward? And what knowledge do I need to acquire that I didn't have this year? And it really got me thinking what I need to share with you guys here at the end of the year as you're trying to make decisions to make 2022 different, to perhaps either change the trajectory, plan for massive growth, or just stabilize what you've got wherever your head is at right now. Is it time to risk it for the biscuits? And so this actually brought me back to a topic that I haven't talked to you guys about. And I realized that's on me. I need to make you guys aware of some of these things a little bit more. If you listened a few episodes ago, there was the podcast YouTube video about the massive Google changes at the beginning of October. And you should definitely go back and find that out. They changed their platform, the biggest change in how they rank websites in of over a decade. Huge thing, huge impact for some people. You should totally go check out that episode. But I realized I need to share some more with you about Google and changes to make sure you're risking it for the biscuits in the right way, is what we're going to say today. And so I wanted to explain to you the difference between mobile friendly or mobile responsive and the difference between mobile first. Now you're probably thinking, whoa, Christine, you've all of a sudden gotten way more technical with me and over my head really fast. So hopefully I'm going to dive into this, give you some good explanations so you can understand. If you think about the history of the internet, our use of the internet, of how we view websites, how we view things, really, when the internet first became in vogue, everybody was viewing it right on their desktops, whatever size or how clunky it was back then. We can all reminisce and laugh a little bit as I look at my extremely small, thin MacBook Pro in front of me. But that being said, everything on the internet was designed to be looked at from a desktop computer, right? We didn't have this mobile computer called a cell phone in our pockets. Tablets weren't even a thought yet, or maybe they were in the inner workings of Apple, but nobody else's head. It was a different experience on the internet. And to dive into that deeper, it's something that if your website in general is not changing or hasn't changed even in the last few years, you've got to recognize the fact that technology and the way people use the internet has significantly changed. And therefore you're behind and you're losing people if you're not evolving with it. It's really easy to just get your website done and just think, oh, I'm good for a few years. And that's so not true. We've seen so many massive changes in behavior when it comes to lead generation, getting more patients online, et cetera, that I've been sharing with our private groups, our private clients over the last 6 months, that really is massively changing even how we do this patient generation, get patients online. So in that vein, really, if you think about it, we went from desktop and making websites for desktop to slowly over time having to make sure our websites looked different and responded different and looked okay on different devices, whether that's your smartphone, whether that's the tablet, whatever it is, you had to make sure that it didn't start looking wonky, right? So this whole idea of mobile responsiveness or mobile friendly came. And the best way to decide or describe that is to think of, water. Like if you take a glass of water, you can Like if your website's the water, if I pour it into my coffee mug, right, it will form to the coffee mug. If I pour it into a thin, long pan, it will reshape to the pan. That's what mobile friendly or mobile responsiveness means. Like whatever you've got will morph it and kind of squish it into whatever somebody's viewing it on. And that was a good first step, right? Because at the time, people were starting to use their cell phones more, starting to use their tablets more. Well, the tides have fully turned. And I'm going to go ahead and just let you in on the secret that mobile friendly and mobile responsive isn't good enough anymore. It's not good enough. And let's go through why and like what you need to do instead. So when it comes to mobile friendliness, mobile responsiveness, you've got to understand it's not specifically coded on the back end, all the stuff you don't want to think about, whether you're on a DIY platform like Wix or Weebly or Squarespace, or whether even you're on a lot of WordPress sites that have mobile responsive themes. It's not specifically coded on the back end to look right on certain ones. It's just supposed to be able to adapt. And so that leaves some room for error, and actually leaves significant amount of room for error. Have you ever looked at your website and thought, man, why does it look so crappy on mobile? Why does it look so whatever? It's because all of those websites are still being coded and created on the back end, whether you're doing the coding or not, for desktop first, and then adaptable to other screens. So originally the water is supposed to be in my mug, but if I want to pour it into that, a long tube that goes down in a waterfall, sure, it can do that too, but it changes things. It doesn't come out the same on the other end. And why is this, this was important, right? Because of the use of people using more devices. But now it's not enough. And why? Well, really, we're at the standpoint, we keep data on all of our clients. We're just sitting on hordes of it that's super helpful. And really the biggest one that we've noticed the last couple of years is that like the mobile, not just mobile, I guess mobile phone usage has gone up significantly. Most of our websites are anywhere from 60 to 80% of their website viewers come looking at the phone. And then tablets still down. Tablets for the most part on average around 10% or less. And then the remaining difference is desktop. So it's still mobile, then desktop, then tablet in the hierarchy. That will probably change as things evolve over the next few years, and we'll have to keep an eye on it. But what did that mean? And what did we do as a business for our clients in order to adapt to that? Well, what we pretty much determined was Google. Well, let me give you a little history first. Google back in like late 2017, 2018, they actually said, hey, we're going to slowly over time roll out indexing, which I'll explain what that is. Indexing and crawling your site. Maybe you've heard it called that. We're going to crawl the mobile site. We're not going to crawl your desktop anymore. So we're going to rank you based on how well your mobile site is. And it wasn't a like overnight switch. In fact, they've been saying they've been rolling it out for years. You probably got an email that you deleted and ignored at some point telling you when the switch happened specifically for your website. And that's okay, because I know you get a lot of emails from Google and half the time you're like, I don't even know what this is talking about, delete. They did notify you at some point. So maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't. And it means, though, from a standpoint of what Google thinks of your site, which we know they're still the most important person to impress at this point on the web. They still are. It might change, but right now it's them. They're the biggest search engine. We want to rank high on there. We want to rank high search engine. We want to rank high on maps. And to do that, we have to play by their rules, which, as I said, changed a lot in early October. So go back and listen to that podcast to get the specifics on that. But we have to play by their rules. And their new rule is, we don't actually really care what's going on coding wise from the desktop standpoint. We're going to only look at it from a mobile standpoint. And so a lot of people are experiencing sudden hits and sudden changes when this occurs because they're on only mobile responsive or mobile friendly themes, or the person they purchased their website from coded it and used a theme that was responsive. Believe it or not, whether you're on WordPress, it's still the same. They will get mobile responsive themes. There are only certain themes that you can use that are what are called mobile first. Now, what does that mean? Mobile first means everything, the structure everywhere is coded specifically for mobile, meaning you run all, like Google runs through your site and they're seeing exactly what they want to see because only considering it from a mobile view. They don't really, like I said, they don't really almost care how well your desktop's coded. They want to know how your mobile's coded because they know the vast majority of people want it on mobile. And if you're not a site that's mobile first and has really good back end stuff behind the curtain, guess what? They're going to rank you lower because they don't want to lose clients. If they start showing clients bad websites high up in the rankings, people get unimpressed with Google, they leave and go to another search engine, right? It's all just business. And so really, as you're looking forward right now, you've got to understand if you might be sitting on one of these old, at this point, unfortunately, archaic websites that's just mobilely responsive or mobile friendly. Now you'll go back to web developers and be like, oh, is it mobile first? And they'll be like, oh, it's totally mobile friendly, responsive. It looks great on mobile. We did a plugin to make it responsive. Maybe they'll even tell you it's not. They're avoiding the answer. The answer is no, we didn't use a mobile first theme. And if you Google mobile first themes, you can look it up. Or if you Google your theme, you can find out, is it mobile responsive or is it mobile first? And so really coming into the new age, and if you want to rank high on Google, and if you want to get patients, if you really want your website to be part of your team as an online sales rep, then you've got to start moving towards mobile first themes. Mobile first indexing, mobile first everything, because that's what they're doing. If you want to be top locally, if you want to win, if you want to stay in the game, if you're actually using your website to participate in your business, you got to be on mobile first at this point. They basically forced your hand after these years. And so there is so many reasons to do it, but it's an absolute need at this point. So I really challenge all of you guys for our clients who might be listening. I'll go ahead and let you know we made this change earlier this year. You're already covered. If you are on our proprietary WordPress theme, it is mobile first. We've got you all covered, so you have no need to worry about it. But for those of you who are listening that are still, trying to figure out what should I do with my site, maybe it's time for an upgrade, maybe it's not. Do I risk it for the biscuits this year and make a change? You need to go back and talk to your developers and be like, am I on a mobile first theme? And don't let them try to cover up. Oh, but it's responsive. Oh, it looks great on mobile. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter because Google's not just looking at it visually. When they index or crawl your site or look at it, they're actually looking a lot at the back end. They want to know it's coded appropriately. And one of the big things of that too is also knowing how fast I'll throw this in here and won't spend too much time on it, but how fast your site is. The best tool for measuring that is called GT Metrics. I believe they have a free version that can at least give you some prelim data. They're the best tool for knowing how's your site loading. Really, you want your site loading desktop, mobile, all in the 1 to 2 second range. So if your site's really significantly above that, you've got other back end under the hood structure problems as well going on. Another huge reason you need to go to mobile first. We see that a lot. It's like people's sites are great on desktop and then we go to mobile, and that's where only being mobile responsive, because it has to work more, right? To smush the water into the form it wants it to be. And you start losing significant speed on mobile. So that's the difference right now between mobile friendly or mobile responsive and actual mobile first. Mobile first is what you need moving forward. Everybody's going that way. Like I said, we see 60 to 80% of all of our clients, their patients are looking on mobile. You can't code for desktop anymore. Don't get me wrong. We still want it to look good on desktop. Okay. But we can't code for it that way because Google doesn't care. They want it coded mobile first. All right. It's a harsh reality. It's a harsh game we play. I know sometimes it can be frustrating. And sometimes it feels like Google's trying to rule your world in so many ways. But we also have to play the game. We got to play the game and realize that we're playing Google's world too, because what do we use when we want solutions to our own personal problems, et cetera? So I want you to win the game. That's the key. That's why I wanted to bring this up today. And as something as you look forward in the future, as you're moving forward, making decisions on what to do for next year and where really your time should be spent. So if you're worried about your website, look, and you're like, things aren't going well, or I need an audit and I need to talk to you guys, please just reach out. You can go to ptwebsitesecrets.com/strategy. Happy to talk to you and have a conversation about where you're at and where you need to be and what we can do to help, or, point you in the right direction if we're not the right people for you as well. Be happy to talk to you. So go check us out, ptwebsitesecrets.com/strategy. And we will be back next time with more on Patients on Demand. Have a great weekend. Bye.